Hi everybody, the Mature Simmer here. So not sure I'm going to be able to get to this in time, but I'm going to take this tiny little route here. Shouldn't take me very long, and maybe we'll end up doing two things quickly in this episode. We'll see how things go, but I'm going to go ahead and just take these large tubes if I can, but I've only got 36 minutes to get there. If not, in the same location, this will be my backup plan. That will certainly take longer. But either way, e-bowl or e-coal, whatever it is, got a few options there. Alright, so welcome anyway. I'm the Mature Simmer. I don't think I've said that yet. But yes, it looks like e-coal is right next door, so I think we'll be alright. It was a little bit of a challenge getting in here before for the last load, so if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go back to the previous episode and enjoy that. This is a little bit of an interesting setup here for getting to locations and stuff, but again, probably pretty realistic in how things are set up. It's one of the things definitely in Europe. Every inch of land is used. It's very dense. I think that's what Europeans find. Alright, there we go. We can take that.
Time to hit the road.
What I was saying, I think that's what Europeans find amazing or enjoy when they come visit the US and like go to out west. Just the amount of open land we have, I think, is just hard for folks to comprehend who are used to things like this, where it doesn't happen that often.
Drive safe.
I mean, there's countryside, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've certainly seen it in the news and travel videos, things like that. I mean, I know there's open land, but it's very different, is my understanding from listening to folks, some travel videos from folks in Europe sometimes, or I've certainly gotten sucked into 5 things we don't have, and I'm from Germany or I'm from Britain or whatever. Usually they're British because those are the ones that are done in English. But I have seen, I think, a few that were German people or something. I think there was a girl from Germany that did one that I thought was pretty entertaining. In fact, I know it was German because I remember my wife was watching with me and she talked about, because I think it was like 5 things every German household has that she's never seen in America, and we had like 3 of the 5 or something, and my wife's like, maybe I'm more German than I think or something. And it was like an electronic kettle, and I forget what else, but yeah, we do have those things. I'm not one that drinks things that come out of an electronic kettle. Not a big tea drinker. Not that I don't like it, I just don't seek it out. But and even what the family uses it for, it tends to be things like hot chocolate or something, or we need hot water for ramen noodles or something. It's better than throwing it in the microwave, is the feeling from most of the folks in the family. So they do that. So yeah, we'll see if we can get two tiny little jobs. I haven't done that in several episodes, so that would be kind of fun. Just do a couple little 100-kilometer jobs, and that would still be a typical 200-300 kilometer set of runs. As long as I don't get any crazy difficult parking, it should be pretty fast. And of course, every time I plan to do this, I get hit by a detour, and it just blows everything up. So we'll see. Alright, I figured, but either way, I'm like, he's gonna block me, but the light turned early enough that he really didn't. We were gonna have to stop no matter what. But yeah, as you're watching this, this is still at the point I did go ahead and try to get ahead on things. West Balkans it will have been released by the time you see this episode for certain. Well, I know in fact, because I didn't start everything. I started recording all the episodes that I was able to get into the hopper were all done before West Balkans was released, but it's coming out and will be released shortly, but I want to continue with the Pro Mods map, so I won't be introducing that to the series until Pro Mods is updated. Goodness gracious. Ah! Oh, I hate that. I'm like, it was so close and I couldn't stop in time, and then I get the penalty. So now I add to my violations, which I looked at the end of last time. I think I had 16 in the last 2 weeks, which is crazy. So now I think I have 17. Wonderful. So if nothing else, I have learned it is very challenging for me to drive in Europe without the police getting upset with me. Nice purple windows, sir, but obviously that's just rendering that's not happening. There we go. Now the car did get thrown together properly. A lot of times it just never does. It's just something that's missing that is conflicting maybe with the various traffic mods I have loaded to give us different vehicles and so forth, but
keep right and then turn right.
Yeah, but electronic kettles and driving Euro truck. That's what we were talking about, right? But no, I haven't done. Oh, his windows went purple again. That is weird. I would have thought once it, like, I wonder if it just has the texture far away, and when you're closer, it's some different texture. That is interesting. I don't know that I've seen that come and go like that. I've certainly seen it draw in late like it did, but then I would think like it would be defined and it would know it at that point. Alright, I turned my signal on. I didn't run into anyone with my large tubes. But yeah, definitely, you know, enjoying the real economy side of it. It certainly makes things more challenging, although I do feel like I've reached a tipping point. But yeah, I guess what I was saying is, you know, I'm still waiting for West Balkans to be integrated with Pro Mods. I'm hoping that by the time this episode is released, that will have already happened. I think at this point, with what I've got put together, it's going to be about a month, a little bit more, because these come out every 8 days, so this should take me out 32 days from release date. So it'll be interesting, but given how Pro Mods, my understanding is how it's integrated, I don't know how challenging that is. It would seem pretty daunting to me, but I'm not a modder, and you know, these guys have also been at it for 10 years with Euro Truck. But some of it might be simply because there isn't that many DLCs that have been coming out lately, so you know, I think most things are released. I will honestly be curious. I guess I have not talked about this in any of these episodes, but it's certainly been on my mind. Like, there is no other DLC that has been announced. Certainly what I'm used to in ATS, and even what I was used to some degree in ETS, because they had Russia on the horizon and so forth, so that was still hanging out there. Like, once this releases, once West Balkans comes out, there's kind of nothing that is there. And that may simply be because, like, Russia was what was left, and obviously they pulled that because of disagreement with the conflict with Ukraine, which is completely understandable and I would say accurate, from my opinion. You know, it's always a little bit dangerous to talk about, you know, controversial, I guess, is more the right word, but not simply because I'm in the U.S., but simply because regardless of where I was at, a country just invading another and making up and fabricating information, as Vladimir Putin has done, to justify what they think they're doing, to just steal land from another country that I understand used to be part of the broader country, but they've chosen to be independent, and they should be allowed to stay that way. So definitely in support of SCS taking the stance they did and saying, you know, we're not going to, you know, whatever it is, release it or give Russia any positive result here that, hey, people are enjoying driving around Russia or something. So I don't expect that they won't at some point release that, but I certainly can appreciate at this point there's a tightrope they're walking. You know, we're now, I think, over 2 years, or if not approaching 2 years into that conflict, and I think there was a hope that it would be resolved by now and that, you know, Ukraine would have won things back, but it does not look like that's going to happen quickly. I mean, the good news is it is happening. They are able to be regaining portions of their country, and I hope that continues, and that Russia continues to struggle and eventually is beaten back and, you know, stay in their own space. That's what they need to do. And but that means we're not getting that DLC here, and I'm not sure where else they could go. I mean, if you think about it at this point, with it being Euro Truck Simulator, I mean, to get anywhere else, you kind of need Russia to connect it. Otherwise, it's just, you know, I mean, I suppose they could jump to the Middle East or something. Again, then it's not technically Euro Truck Simulator anymore. So, you know, this may be it, and they may be waiting until they can release Russia, and then that may be it, but that may be why they're not announcing it, and maybe what will then happen is they'll move teams over to ATS and just make further progress there to keep income for the company going. But it is different than what I'm used to in ATS 2, where at this point, like, we know there's 3 DLCs in the works. Now, again, there's a lot. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh boy. Please don't. Please have no one behind me. Please have no one behind me. Alright. Too much talking. Which is fine. I mean, that's partially why you're here, I'm sure. I'm sure if I was just driving without speaking, that might be a little more dull. Maybe not. Maybe some of you would be like, please, just, yes, put out videos of you driving. No music, no nothing. Just drive. I think that would be kind of dull, though. But here's our delivery location. Somehow it seems like it took a while, though, I'll tell you that. Wow, this is an interesting setup.
This is where it ends.
It is where it ends, but wow. Alright, so I'm guessing, oh, I see where it is. Next to the building. So I'm going to go through the pillars here and then turn around, and then we'll back in. It's next to the Evonik, what I would call a dry van. Maybe it's a different trailer type that I'm not understanding, because there may be different types here. But yeah, so I'm just curious what will happen now, because I don't know that they have future DLC to announce. I mean, the good news is I'm pretty sure they were, like, really close to releasing Russia. It seemed like they were, like, right there. And that's partially then, I think, why West Balkans took as long as it did. I mean, there were a good amount of complainers online of, you know, my goodness, what's going on? There's been no DLC. But they had to basically pivot from nothing and start from nothing. Alright, so very little here, but something. Okay, so to not just turn around and head right back to Pančevo, I'm going to take this one to Szeged, Hungary. Again, it's right in my enjoyment wheelhouse. It's some hazmat material, heavy metals. So let's go grab this.
Let's go.
Alright, right across the street. So I always have that worry of, can I get to the location when it's got such a small expiration time? But that is one of the nice things with Eurotruck, is that because Europe is as compact as it is, and people are kind of everywhere, it's a little bit easier to get to places because the towns tend to be compact as well. And so there's a lot of industry packed all together. Alright, well, we can see it over there to the left. We know that'll be it. The other load they have is obviously the trailer next to it, the graphite grease, which was the one that goes to Panchevo, but we'll take this one. So very small company, but they still need our services, and that's all that matters. Is I then have some work to do here. So a little bit longer maybe than I would have liked, but again, there's only so many towns nearby, so I knew it might be a little bit longer of a job. I was hoping I could get things that were kind of equal, and I could have if I just literally went right back. But that's not the goal.
Okay, here we go.
So, at this point, the good news is then I'll be on the border of West Balkans. Hungary, I don't think, falls in that space. I think Hungary's in a different DLC. And so I'll be able to then, get West Balkans
let's find a new route.
This is so funny. I don't need to find a new route. You didn't tell me which way to go. Alright, so once it recalculates, I'll have some information.
Get ready to turn right.
Well, I guess it's still telling me 162 kilometers, but...
Turn right.
Oh my goodness! It just turned green! Oh, I hate the game lights. They're so fast. I swear it just turned green when I turned out of the yard. So yeah, one of the other really interesting things I came across this week is Krone, on their YouTube channel, Krone TV, put out a thing about an electrified trailer. I think it's called Trailer Dynamics. That basically has an electric axle. Oh, I have a green light now and I'm sitting here. I was beginning to wonder. And it's pretty cool. They were doing something with one of their race teams, and so they had taken the truck to Yarma, I think it was. Something like that. It seems like too few letters, so I think I'm getting it wrong. Maybe it was Yarma. I don't know. Either way, shouldn't be that hard to find. It was put out. Again, this is October 19th that I'm doing this recording. And so I think it was put out in the previous week. So if you look around that time frame, you should be able to find it. It's about a 6-minute video. I think they're based in Germany, so the video's in German.
Take the second exit.
And but they explain some stuff, and then there's other videos on the channel about the trailer itself. It was like a 2 to 3 minute video, but if you haven't seen that, I would check that out if you're into trucking at all. It was really cool information, and partially how I found it was they talked about with a connection here with ETS about that, so it was really cool. So if you haven't checked that out, I would do that, and then you can find out more about the e-trailer specifically by looking for other videos on the channel. And that was interesting. Usually they're not quite that crazy with the AI, like where I had to slow down because they were so intensely crossing the road, but that is obviously what happened there. But no, at this point, if everything works out according to plan, then I'll be sitting out there in the Hungarian border, kind of ready to re-enter West Balkans, and so we'll then be able to immediately take advantage of
right, and then exit right.
The new DLC and just enjoy that along with all the integration and so forth. And we'll drive around there for a little while, of course. See if I'll be able to take part in the event. I don't think I can because of the Pro Mods map, it might not work as cleanly. I don't know. I may try to then take some World of Trucks routes, because there is an event to win some things there, so that would be nice. I just don't know, how it might work with other pieces. Because I think initially I tried to do that here, and then ended up not being able to complete deliveries, and so ended up having to scrap runs and so forth because they wouldn't work. And then that's what I was told, and that's where I had learned at some point by playing ETS2 that they said, yeah, technically World of Trucks isn't compatible with it, and so you can have those kind of problems pop up. Whoop. Well, that was fun, Internorm. I'm not sure what you were doing there other than driving very erratically and very unsafe, frankly. Says the guy with 17 violations at this point in 2 weeks, so I should be one to talk, right? But I suppose you could go the it takes one to know one route as well. So, alright, I will head over here, grab another stall. I don't think we'll get out before him. Nope, absolutely not, because his gate's already opening. Fenster, I know that is German for the word that was there in English, windows. So that is a window company, I guess, Internorm. Interesting bouncing there. So that, again, I think gives us a clear indication that this is probably, not guaranteed, but probably a Pro Mods section. Because I would think those type of little bounces in the road that then caused the cars to do something a little weird would have been handled or looked at a little closer by SCS if it was a part of the official map, but who knows? But yeah, we've got 89 kilometers left, so not too terribly far. It is interesting, I will say, as we pass that rest area on the other side. In the US, we typically will have paired rest areas. They may not be together, like immediately across from each other, but they're usually within a few miles of each other. Got some rain. Haven't had that in a while. So it's always so long I forget which button I have the wipers on. So I'm like hitting all kinds of things. I don't know what I ended up doing with the other one I was hitting. I only hit one other button, but so far, no, I think we'll go up to just having them on. But yeah, going back to it, so like here, like you can see, I can rest on both sides. Now again, this is a toll area or whatever, so that would make a little more sense that they'd offer those services. But kind of having just one built is a little unique, and I've seen that a lot more here in ETS than what I'd be used to in the US. So it's just an interesting dynamic of how that works. And it's not as if, like where we were, that they wouldn't have had room for one on this side, but, maybe they figured, well, this one's coming up, but you had also just left this one going the other way, so, because there is something on each side. So I don't know. Alright, so our ETA and our rest are literally the same. They're within a minute of each other at this point. So, that was one thing I honestly forgot to look at, because I just assumed, well, I can take 2 jobs within my rest period, because I only used like 4 hours of the 9 or 10 that I get. So I'll be fine, but it's going to be closer than I thought. And once again, as long as there's somewhere to rest there, I'll be fine. Just we'll be shifting our time a little bit more than I'd like, but it's how things work here in Europe as far as how much rest you're getting and so forth. So 46 kilometers, so I'm assuming the next exit or so is going to be what we'll be dealing with to then, you know, get out and go make our final delivery. But we've got to get into Hungary first, which we have not done, so. At least I don't think so. I think that's what we've got here is the border crossing.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Drive on the right side. Okay, so there must be something here that puts you somewhere else.
Exit right.
Yeah, I'm going to the truck side, because otherwise I'm sure I could just sit in the lanes there, but I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I am not going to rest. I just don't want to do that. I want a fresh start if I can in an episode, because otherwise I'm going to waste an hour between getting there and parking, and then have less time. Ooh. This time it worked. Again, I'm sure he'll head out ahead of me. Yeah, there he goes, sadly. Because then we're stuck behind him. And they tend to go slow around certain turns and so forth. Nice little bent pole there. It's kind of like not straight up and down, so it's good to see imperfections like that. It just helps make the world seem, oh my god, more real. I was just standing on the brake. Luckily, I did not run into him. Wow. Oh wait, this is, so we're going into Serbia and then into Hungary? I don't understand. I thought we were going to be in Hungary. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I wasn't going there. Oh, no, it is Hungary. Never mind.
Right.
It just said Republic of Serbia on that sign, though. That is what confused me, because I'm like, I know I'm in the far point.
Get ready to turn right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I know these exits are tight. I was not looking away. It just caught me. And then once I bounced off one, so now I'm going to have repair work at some point. It was only 2%, so it's not too bad. So maybe I'll leave it alone, but goodness, that was not what I expected to have happen. Maybe I've done a little too much Euro Truck today. Oh, yeah. Alright. I know I'm getting tired. Because, yes, now I'm technically past my rest period, but I should be where I need to be in 15 minutes, so it should be okay. I've got 8 kilometers to go. There's the town. Good news is there's also a place to rest. It looks like a truck repair center. Typical thing, so that's where I'll go next time. And we should have a discovery. There we go. They're usually pretty good where they have the sign to the town that they put that in, so. But yeah, several places to rest. Just nothing quite where I'm at.
Go straight on.
Although there is some other, like a gas station, and that might be a worthy place to go instead of the truck repair center later, because my fuel is getting down to about a quarter of a tank. So it probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and fuel up. I just hope I remember, because, again, it may be a month before I get in here again. But we'll take a look. And again, maybe they'll surprise me, and the ProMods people will just be like, go crazy. So, yeah, there was a finger snap there. You may not have been able to hear it, though. That was my staccato enthusiasm there. So interesting that this light...
Turn right.
Actually, the light isn't on the... Where is the entrance to this place? It's like there's literally a building there. Oh, those are interesting little concrete pylons or something. Ah, one of these... One of these challenging courtyards. I was beginning to think that's what I had when I Saw the building in the wall.
Safe and
Wow.
sound.
Wow, wow, wow. Can I straighten out enough? Alright, thank goodness. Wow, what do we do here? Oh, okay. Well, it's probably easier than the alternative, but I don't know. Can I turn around? Again, this is where having the maneuverability is great. Wow, that worked actually quite easily. Impressive. Alright. But now, hopefully, I can get there. Never dozed while parking. I assume it would work the same way. The screen would go blank, say dozing, and the vehicle would keep moving, and then we'd eventually come to and see where we were at, but I'm not sure. But hopefully we won't have to worry about it. Maybe we'll just doze to our resting place again like I did the last time I slept. Alright, just straighten out my wheel, and we are good. Alright, so about double of what the earliest trip was. So, 336 XP. We're past the halfway point. So overall, not bad. 7,691 euros profit for the last few days. Let's just take a quick look at our drivers. So Sabrina's still got 24 hours for hers, and Robert's got 28. But, you know, the good news is they're both kind of in profitable range here, which was not happening for a while in the beginning. The one thing I just realized I didn't check. Okay, yes, they are both set to balanced. So they're both at a 5.0 rating, as am I, so not bad. Alright, so I know this has probably gotten a little bit long, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, but thank you for following along. If you haven't dropped a like on this video, if you'd consider that, and if you have not subscribed, I suggest you consider that as well. And I will see you next time.